Dan McCardle and I took our Neos out to the field. This is the view through the goggles. Getting ready to take off. You can see Dan's Neo is already visible in the right center portion of the screen. Both of us are still learning to fly these little quads. And as I slide this screen from left to right, you're not viewing, the picture is not of the goggles, it's the video recorded by the camera. And I'll slide it back. This is the goggle view. Let me explain the components of the on-screen display. From left to right, that little N highlighted in green right here shows I'm in normal mode. That is the altitude above the ground. That is the distance from the home point. That's my altimeter, that's my speedometer. I have no idea what these orange numbers represent. And then over on the right-hand side, there's the battery and time remaining, the signal strength and the data throughput, the number of satellites, and the battery left in the goggles. In the top right corner is the time recorded of the video. I'm moving out to the east of the field here, switching back to normal mode, and one of my favorite things to do with the Neo is to find some weeds. Low to the grass and zigzag through the weeds. It's great fun, actually. You can practice FPV this way without destroying the drone. And test your reflexes. I am going to climb the drone for a signal test. Get up to about 25 feet and fly behind these trees to the right. There is Gables Lake to the southeast of the field. And I will slow this video down to about 25%. I want you to pay attention to the meter for signal strength and bandwidth in the lower right-hand corner. The bandwidth drops from 50 down into the 20s, and it will go lower than that. And the screen becomes pixelated as the signal deteriorates. So this drone is being controlled over a 5.8 gigahertz frequency, and that doesn't penetrate through trees very well. That's something to be concerned about in the future. As I get to clear air, the signal strength will come back up. But right there, there's actually a warning about signal interference. Right there. And it's time to pick things up and come out from behind the trees. It would be it would be silly to do a range test, but that's what I'm going to do right here. This is the tree line to the far east of the field. And as you can see on the lower left-hand corner, the distance is out over a quarter mile, and that's plenty far. And it's time to come back. The horizon is tilted because the wind is adversely affecting the flight of the drone. Here's a quick tour around the outer edge of the field. The only reason I'm including this portion of the video is Dan and I came across something that was probably something we'll have to take care of in the spring. Out here on the north edge of the runway, probably on a line from the shelter to the yellow brick road, as we call it, is a burrow. And I could see it in the goggles clearly, and it got my attention. And I worked my way over to it. And it is a fairly good-sized burrow, maybe a badger. Kicked up a lot of dirt, and it went deep. There's a good view, still shot of it. Dan's Neo is out by the pumping station across the road, immediately across the road from Crossroads Church. And I've decided to go and see if I can find him. Now, mind you, these things are only about 7 inches across. You can see the horizon tilted because the Neo is fighting the wind. And of course, it helps for me to have Dan tell me exactly where he is. But there it is, close to the center of the screen. The home point is that little H that's flickering across the top. And as I turn the drone towards the field, the H becomes more visible in the center of the screen. Here's Dan in a hover. And I'm going to try and do a pivot around him. I've been able to do pivot moves with a conventional stick controller, but using this joystick motion controller is quite a bit different. You have to tilt your wrist to make the aircraft turn, and at the same time use a thumb pad to rotate around that center object. It's non-trivial, and it takes some getting used to, but it can be done. Oh, don't look into the sun. Here I am engaging head tracking. Try and learn something about that. This is when your movement of the goggles, left, right, up, or down, changes the rotation, the yaw of the drone, and raises and lowers the gimbal on the camera. There's a series of dashed lines at the top of the screen that represent when the goggles are centered, pointing straight ahead. And this allows you to put the drone into motion on a straight line and turn and look over your shoulder, so to speak. It's not the easiest thing in the world to do, and it's somewhat disorienting. But it can be done. Here's a flyby on Dan. And the drone is flying by, and I turn my head to the right and kind of fly a circle around him while looking towards the center of the circle. It's not very smooth yet. I haven't perfected this, but I'll get it down. Here's an FPV move. They call this shooting the gap. It's kind of scary the first time you do it. It's kind of like flying under the Brooklyn Bridge. And that's pretty much about it.